Okay, so it's time for another creative journaling, I don't know what you call it, palm with me, I guess. I decided to do my spring bucket list in my little creative journal here. I'll go really quickly through what I've done so far. So I've done a 2021 page, and I've explained before, I'm not doing every day. I can't possibly keep that up. I've got 3 boys under 5 years old, so I'm doing key dates and things I want to remember. So Valentine's Day I did, Pancake Day I did, and you can see all the old videos if you want to go and have a look. Mother's Day and Easter, and then I did a collaboration where we talked about the idea of bloom and what bloom is to you. And now I'm going to use this spring bucket list that's been in my A5 sort of life planner from Papershire, and I'm going to stick this in. I'm going to chop the ring section off, stick this in, and then pick like pictures from the things that we did and stick them in here, hopefully in a creative and nice to look at way. So I'm going to just trim both sides of this so it kind of looks equal, and I'm not going super like fussy over it being really straight. So I'm going to do, I think, like this, so it can sort of fold out. Or do I want to do like, maybe I'm going to do that. Let's just really trim this. I'm using my HP sprocket to print off pictures. I've already done that though because it's super time consuming. Like, I forgot how long it takes me to print them all out, so I've actually spent a lot of the day doing that because I take a lot of pictures. I'm kind of one of those mums. So I think I'll do it this way. I wasn't gonna do, but I've just all of a sudden decided that I might just do it this way. Kind of stick it like that, and then I can pull it out. So have I got my double-sided tape handy? This would have been a good idea. I've got sellotape, I've got glue dots, but I've not got double-sided tape. Oh yes, I tell lies, it's here. Okay, so yeah, my spring bucket list, I do one of these nearly every time. I mean, I always do the things that are on my bucket list, but I don't always write my bucket list down and everything. Oh, sounds like a child screaming. That was scary. My children aren't here, so I can relax. Yeah, I love bucket lists. I am a big sentimental person. I love family traditions, and I take a lot of photos. So if you follow me on my sort of personal Instagrams and things, which some of you do, you'll know that I take a lot of pictures of my family, of my friends, and mostly because I have a really bad memory. My memory is really, really awful. If you ask me some stuff that happened in uni, my friends, and this was like 10 years ago, my friends can tell all the details, when it happened, where it happened, how it happened, who said what, and I am just not capable of that, which is a shame because I really wish I was, but I'm absolutely not. So I'm going to leave this quite plain for now. I was going to write bucket list with these gold stickers, but now I've sort of used that as a title, so I might just leave that for now and then figure out if I might put stuff at the top and bottom later. Probably should have left that to last because I want to now go through and check what's what, but all these sort of in our home Eastery ones I've kind of put in the Easter section, talked about it, stuck some pictures down, so I'm not going to worry too much about that bit, but then the garden and the other ones I'm going to make a note of. So if I start in the garden section and sort of theme it that way, maybe watching the flowers in the tree bloom. I've not printed all the flowers in the garden, I took a couple of pictures, so I have that one. And I think I've just printed, unless it's not out yet, picture of the tree. Oh, here it is. And this sort of doubles up as the, where's it gone? Blossom tree picture. So we were going to go to the old blossom tree. Again, I'll show you. This is the blossom tree that I used to take a yearly picture of. I think I did 3 years with my son, my first son, and then now we've moved into this house my gran bought as a blossom tree. And this isn't the best example because the blossoms had kind of nearly all come off, and then I remembered I had to do this picture. But I'm hoping that year by year now this tree will grow and we'll catch it in bloom next year, full bloom. So yeah, I'll put those pictures together. So watching the flowers and the tree bloom with the blossom tree picture I'll put in together. And oops, I just dropped a picture. Hang on. And then I will also put it in with planting the vegetable garden, which is here, and feeding the birds. So sort of gardeny bits and bobs, and I've got loads and loads of pictures. And I'll also put picnic in the garden on that spread as well. Where is that? Here. A little picnic in the garden with a friend, friend's children. On Cloud Watch, where's that gone? Some of these just haven't come out. This one is also watching the daffodils come up, but the picture of the cloud watching hasn't come out yet, so I will get that in a little while. But we'll start off with this spread because I think that's enough pictures probably for the spread. Now my sort of planning style is very pink, and because of this is a lot of green, it's going to look slightly different. So for the washi that I've picked out, it's this again, which I did use for my Mother's Day spread, and also this one, which I thought was quite cool, and it's like a watercolory, almost galactic, but it's got green in it, so I figured that would work. Both from Simply Gilded. Oh no, that's a lie, this one isn't. This one was custom made from somebody in a group that I'm in on Facebook. So if we have this as the spread, I'm just going to first of all just place things around and see where I might put them. So we've got flowers in bloom and the blossom tree, and that was flowers in bloom as well. And then this was the garden, planting the garden, the vegetables, feeding the birds, and picnic in the garden. So I'll probably, now that I've stuck that other thing in, it won't lie flat, but that's okay. Kind of is going to go like that. And then I am going to add some washi tape to it, and also probably this green highlighter, or maybe this green mild liner, because this kind of looks blue actually next to that. So maybe the green mild liner and a couple of other bits and bobs that I find along the way. I'll pop you over to sort of double time now, so you don't have to watch me do every single little bit. I'll do a voiceover so that it's not really long for you, and this will be the next bit that I do. So over to voice and over me. Okay, so this first sort of double spread page is just where I focused on 2 of the goals in the spring bucket list, which were watching the flowers and trees bloom and planting vegetables in the garden. Both of these things we've done, and I've really enjoyed again this year. Our garden is only a year old. When we moved into our new house, we waited a year to get it landscaped, which was last March, and luckily it got done just in time for lockdown, because it really was a godsend. It was like an extra room onto our house, and it just allowed us to really make use of the garden last year, so that was great. But we did only plant the bushes and the plants, flowers and trees last year, which means that we kind of are on the second bloom of everything now. So it's really nice for me to see sort of what comes up when and how it behaves and how it grows, and some of the things have like tripled in size. So the springtime has been really exciting for me in terms of the garden, which I didn't ever think would be something that I absolutely loved, but I do. So that's been a really surprising outcome for me, and it really does relax me to be out there. The weeding doesn't relax me, that drives me nuts. I wish it did relax me. My mum gets really relaxed by weeding. Maybe I'll reach that stage, I don't know. So yeah, that was the first bit that I cut down. This second spread, and I go back to the other in a bit to add writing, but I just stuck down the pictures first. This second spread was all about nature walks and walking in the woods. Just being out in nature, being out in fresh air, and enjoying making the most of seeing what we can in spring. So the first page, I tried to first of all find some stickers, as you can see, that would work, because I found that I use a lot of sort of paper share stickers, and I love them. It's my favourite shop to go to for planner goodies. But for creative journaling, it's slightly different. For scrapbooking and things like that, I need bigger stickers and stickers that kind of relate to what I'm doing. So these pages from the range sticker books are really good. So I'm glad I found them. But yeah, these memories that I'm sticking down, I'm so pleased to have pictures of them all. These are just walks that I've been on with my sons, and down the right hand side here, this little tower of pictures that I'm doing. That was when my gran came up and we went on a little walk together. They picked flowers, the boys and my gran picked flowers, and then when she got back, she taught them how to press them and sort of got the tissue paper and the heavy books and things like that. So they're currently waiting to be rediscovered in a couple of months' time, so that's exciting. And I liked using these stickers because they've got the clear back and they really look good in the journals, I think. So I'm getting there at using the things that I have in my house. Oh, excuse my yawn, hopefully you've not just caught that. And then I used one of these little dictionary sheets, and I used the one that said forest because this was all about being outside, in nature, in the woods and things, and I figured that made sense. So I've popped that down, and then we have the picture of my son with a dinosaur figure at the top there. That's my oldest son Grayson, he's nearly 5. And then all of the others are when we went on a little walk the other week around a local park near us, and we really just enjoyed it. It was such a lovely day. So yeah, these little pictures I have on Facebook, but just having them down like this is so cute to me. And the more I do things like with the pictures, the more I remember, because I mentioned before my memory's not very good. And my son, bless him, he's the same. He's got a very good memory actually, but he likes to see the pictures, so being able to look back at this with him will be so cute. Because we really do at the moment make the most of our time, and I'm really grateful that we have the opportunity to do that, to take them to different places and to go on these little adventures, because the actual walks in the park and nature walks and things like that don't cost anything, and it's just really nice to be able to spend time with them when it's not chucking it down, which it hasn't now for a week or so fingers crossed it stays that way. So I think that's it for that page. Oh, I missed out the page. I've missed out a whole page there, sorry, that must have sped through really quick, where I've put the family down, but I will be going through and writing in a minute, so I'll go over that. That's this page here. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then the last page I'm doing for today's video is when we went to my brother's fiance's family farm. And basically they have a farm up in Derbyshire, and so it's about a 45-minute drive for us to go. We'd never been before, and we went during lambing season, so it was super cute. We really enjoyed it. The boys enjoyed it. I was buzzing all day. So were they. My husband really enjoyed it too, and it was just something that you don't normally get to experience, because we've been to farms that are like open to the public and things like that, and they're great. There's nothing wrong with them at all, but obviously you're around a load of other people and you're there's the yawn, having a newborn, guys. I'm exhausted. Being able to go to these farms, you're obviously sharing with other people. You're a bit conscious of like hogging the animals from and everyone else. If you're at a petting zoo, you kind of take your turn and then move on. So this was a really nice thing that we could do, where we could really just immerse ourselves on the farm for the couple of hours that we were there. So you can see here on the right hand side, those pictures are of my son Grayson and my son Theo and myself, bottle feeding the wades. Are they called wades or cades? I feel like they're cades now, and I've called them wades on the when I wrote it. I think they are cades. I'm going to Google it, but basically they are the orphaned lambs. So yeah, we're holding those, but we'll go back here now because I've gone all over the place, haven't I? I'm so sorry. But yeah, these are the pictures of my garden and, well, our garden, and how it was sort of shaping up It's Cade, and I've called it Wade. I just googled it. Cades, left by a mother, reared by humans. So, back to the page that we can see there. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. I used one of those dictionary pages for the word flower and the definition, which I thought worked really well on this spread. The picture is of some of my rhododendrons. I have about 10 in the garden, and actually when I bought them and we planted them, I didn't know that rhododendrons, I didn't really check any of the plants to be fair, but I didn't know how big they could get. I just thought that's a nice little plant. So they've all almost doubled in size in a year, and you can see the new growth on them already for the next year, so that's going to certainly be an experience when it comes to it. And then we've got the daffodils that are now tied up and currently tied up and ready to go back into the ground, but on that picture they were just shooting up. So yeah, new life in the garden is just so nice to see. We've got some stuff that we knew was there, and then other things that must have been wildflowers and seeded naturally. So I've just really enjoyed it. And then that bottom picture is us with our new blossom tree, because the blossom tree picture that I normally take every year with my family is somewhere else, and we've decided to continue the tradition of a blossom picture, but now we're starting it in our garden with our blossom tree. So yeah, another little tradition for us to do and put onto every year's spring bucket list. So I'm glad about that. On the right hand side there we have Theo, who's my middle child, feeding the birds these little seedy pellet things, these berry pellets that we use. And the birds, honestly, they're only from Home Bargains, and they're about £4 for the bag, maybe not even that much, but the birds go nuts for it. I'll try and put a picture here actually of the birds or a little video maybe, going to town on that bird feeder. I've never seen so many birds on a bird feeder. It really is quite impressive. So yeah, I'll pop that down here. And he just loves to do it. My sons take it in turns to fill up the bird feeder and put it back, and the birds come into the garden. They can see them eating it, and so they get that sort of payoff. And Theo, obviously, he sees them and he goes, birds eat it, birds eat it. So he just really loves it. He's super cute. And then at the bottom there, my friends finally could come round and use the garden. And we had a picnic in the garden, so that's pretty self-explanatory. And we've also planted the veg patch, but that's not me, that's my husband, so I don't really have much to do with that. And then this page, the one that I missed before, is flying the kite, building dens in the garden, and spending time and visiting friends and family where we could do. These pictures on the right hand side are very recent because we've only recently been allowed in people's houses. So that kind of took a long time to tick that off, and I'm so glad we managed to before summer officially began. But we did manage to fly the kite, we did manage to build dens in the garden, and we did that quite a lot when it was cold because it was just a bit cold to just play outside, so we built with blankets and cushions, got in there, snuggled up, so that was really nice, and it was something that I definitely want to do again next year. And if you have anything that you do during your spring bucket list that you think that I would like to do with my friends, my family, or just self-care to do with spring, let me know in the comments, because I feel like I racked my brain and I got everything I could think of down onto my spring bucket list. But if there's anything else, I certainly would be up for adding that next year. And I think the only thing I missed this year was the Easter baking, which my son did down at his nan's. I didn't do any Easter baking though this year. I very, very often do, but we just didn't do it this year. And because we had guests for Easter, I was more focused on getting the house ready and stuff. We didn't even make Easter egg cakes, like nests or anything, which I'm really surprised about, but I just didn't get around to it. And the other one was the seaside stroll. So I'm going to just bump that into summer, and hopefully we'll go a few times. Because chances are we'll be going to the beach quite a few times, because my son absolutely loves it. But I was just being put off a little bit by there's so many queues to, you can't even get into the beach because everyone's driving there and you can't get around it on the roads and things like that. But now that measures have eased for a few weeks now, hopefully people won't be so desperate to go. And yeah, fingers crossed for us in that respect. And then this page again, like I said before, was all about going out into nature and walking with the boys, going on little adventures, building up their confidence. Grayson's pretty confident anyway, and Theo is within our house, but because of lockdown, we've been in for the majority of his life, which sounds really drastic, but it's true. So him going out and new to new places, any little noise or anything like that, he's a bit like, what's that noise? So we're going to as many places as we can now to sort of expose him to different sounds and sights and noises that he might not have been used to before. And these nature walks he loves because it's a bit quieter, but he's still outside, he's still hearing new noises and doing new things, climbing, having that little adventure with his brother as a safety net there as well for him. So yeah, this one at the bottom. I didn't stage that photo of them holding hands. They just happened to be doing it, and I whipped my phone out super quick. But that was when they were feeding the ducks. So that was another one of the things from the bucket list ticked off, which is really sweet. But they weren't actually very hungry. They must get fed a lot. So the ducks weren't like normally they would flock over. They didn't do that, which is why they stood there at the bottom middle looking out to the ducks, because they just didn't really want the food that we were giving them. But never mind, they did enjoy it. And then, yeah, this farm experience was just so good. We went on the quad bike, and my brother zoomed us all around the fields and things like that on this quad bike. We went in to look at the cows. Some of them were milk cows, some of them were meat cows. We saw the lambs in lambing season out on the fields, and then we also saw the lambs that were ready to give birth in the sheds. Look, unfortunately, we didn't get to see any actually lambing, which I would have absolutely loved. But we didn't get to, but that's fair enough. Can't, no one tells babies when to come out. I'm very aware of that, having 3 kids myself. And then, yeah, they fed the cows, and then we've bottle fed the cades, not the wades, as I've written in there. How embarrassing. We bottle fed the cades, and they just followed us around all the time and sat on our knees, and it was super cute, and definitely my favourite part of the day. And then I've put weights, and then at the bottom here I talked about shooting, and this was the part of the day that surprised me the most. Like, I don't know the name of the gun, like it was like a pellet gun or something like that. It was not real bullets, like it wasn't a proper shotgun, but my brother had it. It's the way they do pest control basically on the farm, for rats and things. And so they have like a target practice where he just messes about on this target. So my husband joined in, he wanted to have a go. I had a little go. I'd never shot a gun before, and obviously it wasn't a proper real one, but it was a new experience and I did enjoy it. And then my son, who's 4, with the help of his dad and my brother, his uncle, all 3 of them in a line, I'll try and include the photo here, shot at the target. And it was something that if you'd have asked me before I had kids, I'd have been like, oh, I'd never let my 4-year-old shoot a gun. But it was like, it was on a target, it wasn't shooting at anything real. It was really safe. We made sure we did all like risk assessments and things as you would as a parent first, and he really buzzed off the fact that he managed to pull the trigger once. So yeah, that was just a really surprising part of the day, but a part that I really enjoyed. So there we have my most recent creative journaling. I think this is going to be something that I do long term. If you are interested in seeing any more, please do let me know, and I'll keep on filling up the book, because I've got this traveller's notebook there, as you could see, that I can just keep filling up. So yeah, and also please let me know in the comments anything that you do for summer and summer traditions and bucket lists for summer, because I'm going to be doing that next, because it is now British summertime, and we've already started doing a few bits, but I need to get them I need to quickly get it organised and put it into my planner so I can tick it off as and when we do those things. So yeah, I hope that you guys are having a beautiful summer wherever you are, or whatever season it is where you are. And I hope you're having a happy and healthy week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.